What's up, everybody? My name is Key Air, and you are watching the important things that really matter. Today, we're going to go into another section, another part of women who pick the wrong men. Women who pick the wrong men. And today, we're going to be talking about specifically women dating older men, the advantages, the disadvantages, and to tell you honest truth, there's really no disadvantages to dating an older man, so long you got yourself together. If that older man knows that you're on his side and you ain't a gold digger, you ain't trying to take his money, you ain't trying to do this and trying to do that to him, and you really and truly want to try to get something, to establish something, to build something together with that older man, you have a vast amount of information to draw from being with the older man. All right, you have that man has a library of information in his head on how to be successful. He has hand-on experience as to be successful, as opposed to a younger man that has little to no information, who is usually getting trained by an older man. So one of the things I have to say to you, which is extremely important, is older women will do everything to put roadblocks in your path. Will talk about older men. They will tell you all these negative things and why you don't need to be with the older man. The reason why they don't want you to be with an older man, the older women, is because you are a threat to the older woman. That's right. You, younger woman, is a threat to a older woman. So they already know that if you take an older woman and a younger woman, that man is going to be leaning towards the younger woman as far as being possibly his wife, especially if that older man wants to have children and settle down. You are the best option. Just looking at it from a physical standpoint and an age standpoint, you are the best option for him if that older man wants to have children. And a lot of the men do. They get to a point in life they want to settle down also too. They want to have a wife that's settled. They don't want to be with a wife that wants to be out in the street or anything like that. And so that older man may want to have children, okay? So who are the women who are in the prime age of having children? The younger women. The women that are between 18 and 27 years old. Now, ladies, if you don't know this, and most ladies don't know this, including older women, your prime age for you in terms of having children, for you to get married, your prime age, ladies, is between 18 and 27. Between 18 and 27. There was a female doctor, and let me say this, fair use, fair use, fair use. There was a female doctor on this talk show that had came on the talk show and was coming out and telling these younger women, you have a certain period of time, which is the opportune time, the primary time for you to have children and to get married, to have children, which also means to get married too. It's between 18 and 27. After a woman turns 27, she starts going downhill in terms of fertility. This is a fact. Your prime years are from 18 years old to about 27 years old. You can have a baby in between these years. You can have a baby and your body bounce back like it's nothing. You can have another baby. Your body will bounce back like it's nothing. You can have another child. Your body will bounce back like it's nothing. An older woman, if she has a child, it's going to take her a lot longer to lose the weight. A lot longer to lose the weight. Her body's not going to bounce back like a younger woman's body is. Okay, so long that you're not out here at a young age abusing your body and you ain't out here running the street. Okay, so these are the prime ages for you to, in terms of fertility, these are the prime ages for you to get married too. Why is a younger woman a threat to a older woman? A young woman is a threat to an older woman because they want the same men. Usually they want the same men. That older man has more resources. That older man has more knowledge, more wisdom, a lot more experience. That older man makes more money. That older man may have a library of knowledge in his head on how to be successful and how to do things that the young man don't have any of these things in place yet. Do you follow what I'm saying? So the older woman wants the older man because she knows These are all the things that he offers, and she knows that the young man don't have none of these things established. Matter of fact, if she gets with a younger man, she more than likely will be running stuff. Follow what I'm saying? So these are things that you need to know. These are things that are very, very important. This is the reason why a younger woman is a threat to an older woman. If you go to ask an older woman, am I a threat to you? She gonna lie, tell you, no, you're not a threat to me at all. But you are. Because she knows that these are the years, 18 to 27 years old, are the years where you were the most fertilest and the primary years for you to get married. So a lot of times older women will give you bad information and tell you, girl, you need to have fun. Run the street. They want you to run the street, so they go after the older men. Okay, that's what they want. And they also know that most men don't want somebody else running the street. Okay? You need to keep all this stuff in mind. That older man has far too much experience and too many things going for her. So the older woman wants to knock you out the box by talking about the older man. You don't want no old man. You don't want no old man. She gonna say this about him. She gonna say that about him. She gonna say this about him. She gonna say that about him. I just heard a woman, a female judge, not too long ago, trying to advise younger women, leave the older men alone. She's trying to knock you out the box so she can get all the older men. But see, one of the main problems with the older women is this: what they don't tell you about is older women go through menopause. You rarely ever hear about that. Well, what about menopause? Well, when an older woman is going through menopause, women are already moody to begin with, okay? Well, a woman going through menopause is like moodiness times 10, all right? She's gonna be way more moodier, way more disagreeable, way more a pain to a man. Want to argue about everything. An older woman, she may have children. She may have numerous children. She may have all types of debt that you as a younger woman don't have yet. And so the older woman wants to get a hold of that older man because he's got more resources to help her get out of that hole that she has dug herself in all throughout the years. And let me tell you something. The last 4 or 5 women that I have dated, they were just credit card debt alone. Just credit card debt alone was absolutely ridiculous as to how much debt that they were in. And we're not going to talk about student loan debt. We're not going to be talking about debt from children that they may have. Older women may have a lot more baggage, a lot more debt too. If you add up these three things, the 3 areas, student loans, credit card debt, and debt from children, a woman can easily be in $600,000, $700,000, or $800,000 worth of debt. And that's just considering these 3 main areas. These 3 main areas. We're not even talking about the debt from a house, debt from a car, debt from other expenses. I'm just about these 3 main areas I'm talking about. Children, credit card debt, and debt for student loan. Woman could easily be in $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 worth of debt, depending on what field that she went into. So and then also too, when a woman's going through menopause, a buddy of mine was telling me how his wife was going through menopause. And oh, by the way, you can start going through menopause in your 30s, okay? And here's something else that nobody didn't tell you. Now, on that particular show, when they had this female doctor that was telling women all this information about your prime years to prime fertile years of between 18 and 27. Well, she had a lady on the talk show that was telling everybody at 30 years old, the woman found out at 30 years old that she couldn't have any children. The woman found out at 30 years old that she could not have any children, and nobody told her. No older woman told her or anything. That's why this female doctor came on here to tell everybody this. And in some places, if you don't in many medical institutions, medical facilities will look at a woman at 35 years old as being a high-risk pregnancy. A woman at 35 years old will be considered to be a high-risk pregnancy. You need to understand that. See, if you went ahead, if you ran the street and had fun like all these women trying to get you to do, to burn up your 20s, okay, build up your body count where you can't bond with no man, those are ones now, the older women, they don't have no retirement plan in place. Their retirement plan would have been their husband. I had a friend of mine, she was trying to have a baby at 37 years old. That woman had all types of problems trying to get pregnant. She was running her husband ragged trying to get her pregnant. It's time. Come on, it's time. Run to the bedroom, get me pregnant. Then she ain't get pregnant. Okay, then she gotta wait again till the best time to get pregnant again. She running that husband ragged. This is what happens when you wait too late to start having kids. And she was having difficulty trying to have kids at 37 years old. They also don't tell you too, when you try to have a child at an older age, at that age or older, that man may have to spend $100,000 or $200,000 to try to get his wife pregnant. This is for a woman that's in her 30s or in her 40s. In vitro fertilization, I think that's it. Did you hear me? $100,000, $200,000. Who the heck wants to spend $100,000 to $200,000 to get their wife pregnant? And she may only have one baby, okay? When you get a woman in her 20s, they'll get pregnant, the man blow on her, she pregnant. That's what the older man wants. And so also too, with the older woman, what they don't tell you about when a woman's go through menopause, they get dry down there. A lot of women, to my understanding, get dry down there, very dry. Then this is a subject they don't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about none of this. No, they don't want to talk about this. The dryness, the mood swings times 10, more children, so the probability of a man having to deal with a baby daddy is multiplied. It gets to a certain age where darn near every woman got a darn kid. More, 1, 2, 3 kids. And an older woman might tell the man, well, I might give you one child. You might. Wait a minute. I'm supposed to take care of you the rest of your life, and I might get one kid out of it? If that older man marries a younger woman, he'll get several kids, a bunch of kids out of it, because her body's gonna bounce back, okay? Especially if the woman breastfeeds, okay? And especially if she wasn't out there running the street trying to screw half the city. Her body's gonna bounce back, so keep all this stuff in mind. This is the reason why you're a threat to an older woman. Older woman that was out there running the street, she don't have no retirement plan. Her husband would have been her retirement plan, and children would have been her retirement plan. So all that stuff she's telling you about older man, you don't want to be bothered with it, don't even listen to none of that crap. Don't listen to none of that crap. My mother had a friend that came over one day, and my mother was talking all this stuff. You know what they be talking, all this stuff. And I don't think a young woman needs to be being married and getting with an older man. And so my mother's friend turned and looked at my mother and said, my father was a lot older than my mama. We loved our daddy. Our daddy took care of us, looked after us, spent a whole lot of time with us. We had so much fun with our father. He took care of us. He made sure we were good. He made sure he worked. He made sure he had everything in place to take care of our mama, take care of us kids. We had fun with our daddy, and my daddy was a lot older than my mama. And this is what my mother's friend told her. So that's the best time to get with somebody. When the man's older, he got more time. He ain't out on the street and stuff. So these are the things. Plus, you got all this vast amount of information. You just ask him a question, he know the question. He know the answer to the question, or you know how to get the answer to the question. Or the man might have connections already that a younger man may not have at all. Younger man, you might be dealing with a Pookie or Ray Ray, don't have no sense. By the time you get to some of these older men's ages, a lot of them Pookies and Ray Rays and died off. Been deleted, But anyway, look at my past videos on women who picked the wrong man. You better go through every one of my videos on women who picked the wrong man. I probably got about 8, 9 videos on the subject, so that you were able to pick the right man. So don't cast out, be listening to some of these women talking about you don't need to be with no old man. Yeah, you do. You need to be with an older man. You need to be. Now, I'm not saying you 19 years old, you date somebody that's like 70 years old. That's a little bit, that's a little bit too excessive, okay? But I'm saying that the age don't mean nothing. If you go to other countries, they don't care how old the man is. In other countries, and especially like in the United States, there's a least amount of care about age when you're in the southern part of the United States as with the older part. Now, if you were in the north, there might be more concern with the women thinking about we need to knock these women out, the younger women out the way, and knock our threat out the way. But in the South, it's more accepted. And then the wild thing about it is you go to other countries, Age is not an issue at all in other countries. You need to take that in consideration also too. That's why a lot of men are going to other countries too, because the family structure in other countries is still in place. The family structure is still in place. Unfortunately, the United States is almost darn near completely destroyed. And I'm not going to say who was responsible in darn near destroying the marriage, but I'll put it this way. If 80% of divorces are filed by women, who is destroying the marriages? Who is destroying the marriages if 80% of divorces are filed by women? And 80% of the women are walking away from marriage. So who is really walking away from marriage? There's some women that just divorce a husband just because they want to start running the street. And I know at least 3 different examples of that taking place. Okay? Now, if you want to sit up here and people want to argue back, because I know there's probably some woman back there, some older woman back there, nah, you ain't no threat. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Well, here's the verification of what I'm saying is true. Go to the Bible. Go to the Bible. Go to the Bible. If you look in the Bible, you will see nothing but a bunch of older men dating younger women. Older men marrying younger women. That's the main thing. Older men marrying younger women and having multiple children by them. Okay? Excuse me. A lot of men want to have a number of children. They don't want to just have 1 or 2 kids. If a man marries an older woman, she'll sit up here and tell you some stuff about, I might give you 1 child. You know, but then they still expect the man to take care of them the rest of their life. So the man is a retirement plan. And the women that were out in the street, they missed out on their retirement plan because they were too busy running the street in their 20s and running the street in their 30s. And then they say, oh, now I want to settle down. They're not going to be able to settle down. They used to being with too many men. Used to being with too many men. You know, so how you going to settle down? So how these people are not even used to being with one man. There was an interview with a lady. They were interviewing this woman talking about marriage. And she was like, The woman was almost having a heart attack, a panic attack, by just imagining being with one man. And the man was like, the lady was like, I can't imagine being with one man. I can't imagine being with one man. That's what happens when you've been out there and your body count then built up and built up and built up. They had a woman that was 23 years old. She said she had been with 720 men. I'm like, God, dog. They had another woman, looked like she was about 35, 40 years old. That woman said she had been with over 2,000 men and women. She was a stripper, okay? Been with over 2,000 men and women. You know she gonna have a problem trying to settle down. So these are the things you need to take into consideration. Look in the Bible. You look in the Bible, all you'll see is older men dating. You can look at Sarah and Abraham. Abraham was older than Sarah. My next door neighbor married a woman from Africa. I think there was like a 30-year difference between him and his wife that he married from Africa. He married a younger woman. When he married her, that couple had been together for 20 years. Did you hear what I just said? Did you hear what I just said? Did you hear what I just said? This man, my next door neighbor, next to my mother, married an African woman, and there was at least a 30-year difference between them. I'm not saying that's what you have to deal with. I'm saying just between them, those 30-year difference. It shows that age is not a big problem in another country. There was a 30-year difference between them. They have been married for at least 20 years. Did you hear me? They have been married for at least 20 years. The friend of mine was telling me about his uncle that retired from the post office, moved down to Mexico, got him a señorita. Man started a whole brand new family at 60 or 65 years old. Man was 60 years old, 65 years old, had another kid at 65 years old. Men can have children up till they about 90, 95. So that man went down to Mexico, got this post office check sent down there, and he got a whole new family. I think the guy got several kids. So age ain't nothing down there, you know. So remember what I said. Part of you picking the right person, an older man may be in the best of your interest. Stop listening to these older women giving you bad advice. The Bible is full of older men who married younger women. Full of it. You want an example of it? Abraham and Sarah. Okay? And that's just one of many. All right. Please like, Please share, please subscribe, please hit the notification bell, please hit the notification bell, and peace.